how's it going everyone? This is the Anime Man. Having watched a lot of anime, I have also spent my time purposely trying to watch pretty much every anime from both ends of the spectrum. I've seen anime that are known to be masterpieces of their own medium, while I've seen anime that have just put dirt on the name of anime and its entire entertainment medium. And as everybody knows, anime is very different because it's not a genre, but it is more a medium. In other words, within anime, there is all sorts of different anime. There are anime dedicated to children and young teens, while there are some anime that are strictly related and aimed towards adults and parents. But what a lot of people I don't think know is that there are really only 5 types of anime. Now you might be thinking, Joey, what the fuck? There is way more than 5 types of anime. Like, I can already probably think of 10 different genres. Let's try it out. Action, sci-fi, fantasy, romance, comedy, cyberpunk, horror, psychological, suspense, drama. That's already 10. That's way more than 5, right? Well, you're only thinking of it in genres because even though some anime may be following the same types of genre, they're not necessarily the same type of anime. Today, I'd like to analyze what I like to call the 5 governing types of anime and how these 5 types of anime may affect or have been affecting anime in the past, present, and future. This shit's gonna get analytical, so strap yourselves in for some analytical bullshit. Now, the first type of anime is very simple. What I like to call art. These are series that show an open-ended and interpretive ideas and motifs while also using very experimental and innovative aesthetics. These are series that a lot of people tend to call either different or confusing because a lot of stuff, again, is very interpretive and metaphorical. For example, Tatami Galaxy. The aesthetics are super experimental. A lot of people don't look at the Tatami Galaxy art style and think that that is the classic art style that you see in anime. It is quite different. And it also explores a lot of interpretive and open-ended themes about maturity and adulthood. Another example of an art anime is my favorite and what I believe to be an absolute masterpiece, Serial Experiments Lain. The surreal and extremely metaphor-heavy visuals and just blend beautifully together with existential and epistemological themes. I know that sounds like a lot of big words, but trust me, that's what the show is about. The second type of anime falls on the opposite side of art, and I like to call a product. These are anime that instead use very simple visual and aesthetic ideas, as well as not a lot of heavy themes. They're not so much focused on these themes as they are more focused on flashy colors and lightheartedness. These are the not thinky type of series, you know, the anime that you kind of just want to play in the background while you fold your washing, and doesn't really require any form of intelligence above the normal, as they're really just there to entertain you. Now, I'm not saying that these are unintelligent and stupid anime. In fact, a lot of these kinds of anime are really guilty pleasures for a lot of people, and I especially love these kinds of anime and watch them on the downflow. These kinds of anime predominantly fall under the harem ecchi genre, such as Tolaru. There aren't really any evident governing themes above the entire series, and there isn't a whole lot of character development. In fact, we can kind of strictly say that nothing really happens in this anime story-wise. It's just kind of there to give us eye candy and for us to laugh at the shenanigans that the characters are faced in. A lot of comedy anime also falls into this genre, such as Himoto Umaru-chan. This is just straight up comedy, light-hearted, slice of life, the kind of stuff that you just look and be like, ah. It's lazy, yet it's enjoyable entertainment. The third type of anime is the anime I like to classify QuasiArt. These are the anime that try to make themselves look like a product anime through their visuals, but they are more well regarded for their governing themes that lie within either the story or the characters or the development of both the plot and the characters. A few examples I can give to kind of give this point across is the anime Angel Beats. Now, a lot of people enjoyed this anime because of its pretty colors, hilarious animation, the lovable characters, and the comedy that were sprayed throughout the story. But most people enjoyed and highly praised the series for its governing themes of the importance of life and love, and a lot of existential and heavy themes that you don't see in a lot of product anime. They really do emphasize a lot of these themes on more of the serious moments throughout the series, while they throw in the comedy and the lighthearted action throughout to kind of ease away from the theme, to kind of keep it lighthearted and happy, but also don't forget that this is what this story is actually about, and this is the important stuff that you need to take away from the series. In fact, you can say that almost all Key Studio works kind of fall under this category. If we're talking movies, then Wolf Children is an example of QuasiArt. Again, many loved it because of Hosoda Mamoru's brilliant directing and art style and just a beautiful animation and soundtrack. But this movie hit home for a lot of people because of its deep issues concerning family and unrequited love and just maternal love and just all these kinds of really dramatic themes that are taken in a lot more of a mature look, while also not forgetting to entertain the children with pretty colors and pretty animation. The fourth type of anime is on the opposite side, and I like to call quasi-product. This is the opposite of QuasiArt, where quasi-product anime try to make themselves look like an art using overarching themes, but most people recognize it for more being a product. For example, Anohana. Unlike Angel Beats, Anohana used existential themes to kind of push the story across, and it wasn't really the central theme. I mean, of course, it was definitely touched upon, but a lot of people remember it more for its romance. Not many people look back at Anohana and think, oh, the existential message that I got across from Anohana was very touching and is the thing that I remember the most. Most people remember it because of the main character and the main heroine's love and just the drama that unfolds between their romance and the jealousy within the characters and the development of these characters based on that love and jealousy. The second example I can give is Mirai Nikki. Again, although the overarching themes in the story was a lot of very dark and psychological themes such as child abuse and just all that kind of gritty stuff, but most people remember the series and praise the series for, I mean, besides, you know, being like the Queen Yandere, but also for its high-paced action and awesome animation and just the quirky and lovable characters that fight along each other in this superb battle royale standard. And the fifth and final type of anime is what I like to dub the art product. These are series that can fall between art and product and quasi-art and quasi-product, but it really all depends on how it is interpreted by the individual. For example, Kill la Kill. Some people praise the series for having superb animation done by Trigger Studios and just the quirky characters that are found within, but also a lot of people loved it and praise it for its underlying themes and metaphorical interpretations of things like, you know, government and the schooling system in Japan and like hierarchy and all these kinds of more mature themes that are underlined within the fan service that a lot of people really disregard in the series. I mean, the costume designs are very, very fan service oriented and edgy oriented, and the action and high pace really kind of make it seem like a product. But in fact, a lot of people do credit Kill la Kill for being a very artistic interpretation of the themes that I mentioned previously. Another example is the Monogatari series, my absolute favorite. Now, a lot of people disregard the Monogatari series for just being pretty much a harem series. I mean, there is a lot of comedy in there, there is a lot of quirky characters, really lovable quirky characters in there, and again, the comedy is great, the action every now and then is also brilliant. But a lot of people do interpret it for having some of the most three-dimensional characters and have a lot of especially existential themes, but also just a lot of themes depending on the characters' backstories that are really fleshed out well through the 8 or 9 series and 3 movies that are out there. So those are the 5 governing types of anime that I see in the anime community, but there are a few things that you might be asking yourself. One question that you might be thinking to yourself is, Joey, well then, what's the best type of anime? By the sounds of it, product anime just seems like really cheap fan service, while things like quasi-art seem to be enjoyable but also deep and philosophical. Well, that's kind of like asking, what's the best genre of anime? Depending on who you ask, that answer is greatly gonna differ. For someone who loves psychological horror anime, they'll obviously answer that the psychological horror genre is the best, while people who can't take that stuff and would prefer things like ecchi, harem, the light-hearted comedies and slice of life will say that those genres are the best. And that's the point that I really want to stress with these 5 types of anime, is that not one type of anime is better than the other. It is completely up to the individual. If you're into QuasiArt anime, but you really hate product anime, then obviously you're gonna say that QuasiArt anime is the best and product anime is the worst. But there might be somebody out there who doesn't quite understand or thinks that QuasiArt anime are cheesy and that product anime and comedy anime that fall in the product type are some of the funniest and best entertainments that the anime industry can offer. And I just want to say that's fine. Obviously, not everybody is going to agree what the best anime in the world is. But I think if you grab the entire database of all anime that existed, I think it is possible to put every single anime that has ever been made into at least one of these 5 types of anime. And even those 5 types of anime are really interpretive as to what series really fit under the type of anime. For example, Psycho Pass. Psycho Pass is interesting because for some people it will fall into QuasiProduct, but for other people it will fall into the art product type. Being a cyberpunk anime, it obviously has to come with a lot of psychological horror themes and a lot of dark, gory action. Now, these dark psychological themes are seen more heavily by some people, thus putting it in the art product category, while some people kind of wash away those dark psychological themes due to the nature of the cyberpunk genre and are more focused on the high impact action that comes with the series, thus putting it more in the quasi-product type. So again, I believe that if an anime doesn't fall into a single type, then it kind of floats in between 2 types. And this is where I introduce to you what I like to coin the anime bell curve. This is a bell curve that shows you the amount of anime that exists that falls into each type. As you can see on both ends of the spectrum, there is very little art anime and there is very little product anime. As it is quite difficult to find an anime that falls directly as art. It's nothing but art. There is no product whatsoever. And on the other side, there is a series that is really difficult to just define as a product. It's just a product. There is no art whatsoever. And as we get closer towards QuasiArt, QuasiProduct, and eventually art product, we find more and more anime. And that, I believe, is the beauty of the nature of anime. Is that most anime out there are usually a combination of art, metaphorical, and deep themes, while also not forgetting to entertain the viewer through eye candy and other types of fan service, comedy, slice of life, as what I like to call lazy entertainment. And again, I think this is one of the strongest selling points of anime, and the reason why anime has been adored by so many different people is that since most anime do fall between quasi-art, art product, and quasi-product, it entertains you but also makes you think as well. It's like, I enjoyed what I just watched because it was entertaining, a lot of flashing lights, a lot of flashing animation, characters were fantastic, but most of the time there is a lot of parts where you're like, oh, this really made me think about the themes that it kind of discussed, and it also has a mature take on it as well. And again, I think that is the beauty of anime and the beauty of anime analyzing. And as a side note, each of the 5 types of anime that I showed you guys in today's video are both good and bad in their own way. Within the art type, product type, quasi-art, quasi-product, and art product type, there are really, really incredible anime, and there are also some really, really shitty anime. But I just think it's really interesting to see that these governing types do in fact exist, and that they really do kind of shape the way that the entire medium of entertainment is constructed. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite type of anime? What is your favorite genre of anime? And what are some things that you can comment on concerning this anime bell curve? Do you think this bell curve is accurate in any way? And what are some series, if you can find any, that don't fit into any of the types of anime that I laid out in today's video? Anyways guys, thanks for watching. As always, like and favorite if you enjoyed, subscribe for more anime banner, and I'll see you guys next video, whatever I make. Keep watching anime. Ciao!